if you meet someone again, it may be a connection from past lives, and that's how we call Inyeon or fate. Hello everyone! From dramas to webtoons to novels, explore Korea's story with us. This is Who Reads Story. My name is An Sung-jin. I'm a news reporter, and we have another guest back with us. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, I'm Ari. I'm a model, actor, and now a content creator living in Seoul, South Korea. And it's finally an honor to be back again for the final episode. It's kind of making me sad because I didn't want it to be the final episode, but I'm hoping like we can connect again and it will be really fun. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you again. And you've kind of led into what we're going to be talking about today on our episode. You've mentioned connecting.
Right.
But have you heard of the phrase past lives?
I do. Actually, even in India, we have this belief of past life.
Really?
Yeah, like you've done something good in your past life, or that's why you're having like so much wealth or happiness in this life. Or maybe you've done something bad, that's why you're having karma. We say like
karma,
that.
There we go. I was gonna say.
So exactly, like we believe in a lot. Like my mom especially believes in that. So it's kind of like very familiar topic. So I've heard about it a lot. Even in Korea, my friends say the same, like, oh, maybe you have done really good something in your past life. Yeah.
Right. So to explain the movie that we will be talking about today, we will be talking about director Celine Song's past lives, and it kind of builds on the value of Eastern or Asian values of 전생, which is past lives, and Inyeon, which can kind of be translated into fate or connection. And this background takes place in New York, and I feel like kind of combining those two elements already makes it interesting. But the movie itself was also nominated for Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay of 2023 Oscars.
Wow.
And, amazing directors like Guillermo del Toro have also given, great compliments about the movie. And I think that kind of adds on to the value of the movie. Right, let's delve into it. So, what was the plot? Could you just kind of give us a brief introduction into the movie itself?
Alright, so there are basically main two characters. Actually, there's three, but let's
focus on the first two.
So basically, there are two people called Nayoung and Hae-sung.
Yes.
So basically, these two are like, they are like childhood crushes of each other. And like everybody has like
Everybody has
crushes.
a childhood crush.
Don't tell my mom. So basically, these two characters are in the school together, and the family of Nayoung, the girl, basically immigrates to Canada. And they get separated even though they had such a strong connection, and for 12 years almost they didn't get to meet. And after 12 years they reconnected online using Facebook. Like they started chatting, then they had a video talk, and then they felt like a real deep connection again. But then something happened which again divided them, and it's kind of hard.
Right, because up to that point, it kind of seems like this, typical online romance movie, but it goes more than that, right?
Yeah, right. After 12 years again, because the guy, basically, Hae-sung, goes to New York to meet Nayoung, whose name is now changed to Nora, and she is very happily married to a guy called Arthur.
Arthur, yes.
And this Arthur is also a writer, and these three people try to find like connection, deep connection. And even though the guy goes there for a very brief time, I guess it's just for 2 days,
Just for 2 days,
Just 2 days. And even though you can see how much of a deep connection they had, but still, with life with Arthur feels very different as compared to her past life, and they both carry a very different meaning. So they were involved with different people now.
Now, for a little bit more in-depth into the theme itself, you've kind of talked about 전생 or past lives, and we see that actually this movie itself really reflects on the director Celine Song, her own life, because there are a lot of similarities that she portrays within the movie and her life as well. I'll give some examples. For instance, her father is also a filmmaker himself, and she herself also moved to the US from Korea when she was 12, so she still has that compassion, or she still understands the feeling of second-generation immigrants, and I think that's well reflected within the movie.
It's very, very reflected because it's the same exact story where her father is also a writer, and she moves to Canada.
Yeah. And we often carry many past lives, perhaps like, moments in our current lives could have been a reflection of something that happened in our past lives, and something long ago. Sometimes we say something long ago, or something that feels emotionally so distant might be something we've already experienced in the past. It's kind of similar to karma in the sense that, what happened to you kind of comes back. But in this sense, it's more so how something that might feel like you've already experienced actually happened already and is happening again in your present life.
Right. You know, even in India, we have this kind of thing like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We say like if you are like you meet somebody, it's not just because of coincidence. We do not believe in coincidence. I mean, I do not believe that strongly, but I think my family or other Indian people really believe that you have met somebody already in your past and that's why they're coming back to your life. Even your parents, like if you came out of them, there's a reason why they are your parents and not somebody else. You must have some connection in the past lives.
And you know, in Buddhism culture, they say that there's this thousands of cycles of rebirth, and you know, as you just mentioned, someone may not be just a single coincidence. If you meet someone again, it may be a connection from past lives, and that's how we call Inyeon or fate.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting because, you know, even if you do end up seeing someone, if you click well, or if you feel so familiar with that person, it might imply that you've already had that connection before in your past lives.
That's true. Or even if you don't click with someone, but you have spent a long time and you learn something from them, there might be some connection that you had in the past life, which was remaining karma that comes back to you.
Exactly. And that's why Inyeon is explained by Nayeon within the movie as her words are, if you're close so much as brush against a strangers on the street, that's Inyeon or fate. Because in a past life, something already connected. Just as we mentioned, you know, the fact that you guys have already become something is fate or connection. And especially marrying someone means that you've shared 8,000 lifetimes of Inyeon. So it's not just one time, it's not just two. 8,000 times of past lives connection is happening again to you in the present to be marrying that person. Isn't that interesting?
That's very beautiful. The one thing that I would want to say about this movie is like I'm saying, the acting is phenomenal. When I was reading the storyline, honestly, I just thought it's a very normal storyline. But the moment you see the opening scene, you're like hooked. Let me tell you, I've never been that hooked on an opening scene of any movie.
Right, so you've just heard Ari's very strong recommendation of the movie Past Lives by Celine Song. And so we're just kind of put that there. We'll wrap it up just to make sure that we don't go into any more spoilers. But
I wish I could give more spoilers.
But that kind of wraps up our last episode on Who Reads Story. What was it like to be here for our very last episode, Ari?
I wish it was not the last episode, guys. Please keep voting and liking and subscribing so we get more episodes like these. It's so interesting to see beautiful things about Korea and Korean dramas. Honestly, this has been a very eye-opening experience for me because honestly, I do not get time to even watch beautiful movies and dramas, and honestly, watching so many beautiful dramas and movies and talking about it with you and having the beautiful production team, it just felt like so happy.
Aww, that's
and at the same time, I got to know so many beautiful movies and dramas just because of you guys, honestly. I think they have the best recommendations ever. If you need recommendations, go watch all the episodes, please. Just go watch all the episodes. Honestly, they have the best recommendations and all the trending topics of Korea. So guys, if you're interested in Korea, all the topics are there.
Right, just like you, Ari. For me,
I feel emotional.
Right, let's see. When I was running Who Reads Story as a host, you know, just as Ari mentioned, I feel like not only did I get to read and watch a lot of Korean content that I would have not been familiar otherwise, but also apart from that, you know, not only was this kind of a platform to introduce Korean content, but also that meant that I got to talk with different people, showing up on our episode and sharing and resonating with different types of cultural content. And exploring those based on different backgrounds is, I think, what made Who Reads Story really special.
Honestly, when I was a person living in Korea, or even not in Korea, the first question that came up on my mind was like, what do I watch?
Right, of course.
I need some recommendations, some good recommendation. So these people have it, guys. So you gotta watch all the episodes. Come on, we gotta be back again.
Right, so for me, you know, Who Reads Story was kind of a place to, you know, resonate with a lot of people through watching these Korean content, sharing it abroad, and that's why I felt very proud for being on this team. And I would also like to thank our viewers for being here with us on Who Reads Story. You know, you've also been on this journey with us from episode 1 all the way up till episode 30, and kind of trickling back to the movie, I do want to say this statement: may our Inyeon, or may our fate, continue into the next chapter, hoping that we get to see each other again. Maybe maybe we've already met in our past lives, but perhaps this could be leading into some time again in the future to connect again.
That's such a beautiful line, honestly.
Right. Thank you so much, Ari. And I would like to wrap up our last episode on Who Reads Story. Again, thank you so much for our viewers. Continue to like and subscribe to our channel of Koreanet. And we hopefully will be back.
Please comment also what's your favorite part of the movie. If you've seen that movie, go and watch it right now.
Right. But again, thank you for watching Who Reads Story, and that will be a wrap. Goodbye.